Hello and welcome to this next Chess Rating Rise chess video. It's been a while since the last Chess Rating Rise video, and today is Friday the 7th of October 2016. So I thought it best to do another chess video, and the topic of this chess video is related to the Philidor defense. I have started to play a few more chess games and increasing my rating and using the Chess Rating Rise training with the Chess Rating Rise chess position trainer, and you can see the repertoire open here and the program chess position trainer open here. And the game here is the Morphy versus the Allies Philidor defense. It's a fantastic game. It's probably the most well-known chess game in chess history, and it's just a beautiful game played by a very good player. Paul Morphy is probably the best chess player in history as well. So it really is a model seminal game that you can learn a lot from, and there are many videos about it on the internet, but I was going through it today in the light of trying to play better against the Philidor defense as white for white side, and I was just struck again and again by just how fantastic a game it is really. So I want to go through it, and it's really from the white side. So I'm going to go back to the start moves, and here you can either, in chess position trainer, you can play the moves by hand, or you can just use the play button to play the next moves, and you can see all the moves highlighted. Well, the Philidor defense starts 1e4, e5, and then 2 knight f3, and then we get in the Philidor d6. Now, the Philidor isn't played a lot at Grandmaster level because it's considered quite passive. An exception to this is Bg4, who plays it quite a bit and is a specialist with it. And it's a perfectly solid opening for black. It's not one that I particularly choose myself because it is a bit passive, but it does give white some interesting difficulties to overcome. It's almost like a tough nut to crack sort of thing, so it's a bit of a battle, of course, as any opening is. Well, here in chess position trainer you can see white now has several moves. The most common is d4 to open the centre, and this is my favourite move here in this position, and it's the move that Morphy played in the Morphy versus the Allies games, the Opera Knight game, which we're going through here. It's good because it opens the centre, but there are other moves, bishop to c4 or knight to c3, maybe even d3, but d3 is very passive anyway. Anyway, let's go through the Opera game where Morphy plays the common and good move d4. So Morphy's playing really well. He's opening with piece development, and now he's playing for central control with the early opening of the centre with d4. Now, as you can see, I've already got quite a few Philidor moves inputted into the chess position trainer, and here the arrows are showing the possible moves. The most common move is the exchange variation where E captures D, but you can see there is actually an f5 variation, which is the Philidor counter variation that Philidor himself used to play. And if you play the Philidors as white, you need to be on your guard for this, because if black plays this, it's quite a sharp game results, and you have to be on your toes as both black and white in that variation. That's a very aggressive and attacking variation for black. Philidor used to promote it and like it, but actually a lot of black players, especially at my level, the lower levels of chess rating, won't play it because it is very hyper aggressive, and they prefer a more solid, stable, classic Philidor stable solid position. Anyway, you can see the other variations: knight to d7, knight to f6, but in the Morphy Opera game the Allies played bishop to g4, pinning the knight. This actually probably isn't the best move. I have got an engine analysis going on here, and we could refer to that actually as we go through the game if we want to, but I'm not sure that it's necessary, so I might just go back from there. And of course, in chess position training, you can see my notes here on the Philidor defence, talking about Morphy and the Allies game. So as you can see, the main response for white now is to take in the centre. So D takes E, and this gives black a problem. Does he recapture with the pawn, in which case the queens will be exchanged, and black will have to recapture with the king, and his king will be stuck in the centre without the ability to castle. So black's normal move is to capture the knight, and white recaptures with the queen. Black captures the pawn, and Morphy develops the bishop, and this is the feature of Morphy's play. Morphy loved to develop quickly and develop with threats and develop with initiative almost, and here bishop c4 sets up a checkmate threat from the queen and the bishop. That's easily parried. Black can parry it with a simple developing move, knight to f6, but Morphy now takes the opportunity of not developing but moving his piece twice in the opening, which you might think is going against beginner opening principles, but queen to b3 is a surprisingly good move because it's setting up another threat of taking the weak f-pawn and putting the black king in check, and it's also putting a threat against the black b2 pawn. So sometimes it is worth breaking rules. It's very interesting to see how Morphy plays in this game and learn from these moves. The reason Morphy can possibly do this is because black hasn't got much development anyway, and black now to parry this threat of taking on f7 is now playing a queen move himself. So queen to e7 was played by the Allies, which was Count Isouard and someone else. Sorry for the crackle on the microphone there. Anyway, Morphy continues a la Morphy style, which is developing, and this is an amazing thing to learn about Morphy. The importance of good, quick development and castling for king safety, and this is amply shown in this game, and why it's worth reiterating and really learning well. And here black shows what not to do. Black really should be developing a piece or making a pawn move that might help fianchetto the bishop, or playing knight to d7, something like this. But black elects just to play a pawn move here and plays c6, and we'll see what black is thinking later. But Morphy of course continues developing and plays bishop to g5, which is a reasonable developing move, and sort of pins the black knight. So the black knight is sort of taken out of the game for a while. Well, here black sort of again loses the plot, and you can see the black move put on the board here, which is b5 to attack the white bishop. And on the face of it you think, well, that's a reasonable move because it's cutting off this queen attack on the b file. It's also eliminating this queen and bishop battery, but actually it's not developing his pieces. And when you think about it, Morphy now has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces developed, where black has only got 2 pieces developed, and one of those is the queen, which is early. So this next move by black goes against the opening principles. Not only does it go against opening principles, but now it gives Morphy an opportunity. Do you see how these pawns are lined up with the black king still being uncastled in the centre? Gives Morphy an idea for a sacrifice, an attacking sacrifice. So Morphy doesn't move his bishop, but sacrifices the knight with knight takes b5, and the Allies take back, and Morphy takes back now with a check. And this begins a fantastic attacking set of moves by Morphy, who's calculated all these moves in advance now, and this is the beauty of this game. To block the check, black would have to move the king and then one of the Morphy's rooks could come into the game. So it's difficult already for black here. So black blocks the check now with the knight, which is now pinned by the bishop, of course. And Morphy plays a very, very good move. He could castle either side, but castling queenside puts his king into safety and adds extra pressure against this pinned knight from the white rook. So where is the king to go? If the king moves to d8, he's just moving into a sort of an attack from the rook, so he doesn't want to do that. And black brings his other rook in to defend, and you can see the black king is hemmed in. So the black king now is sort of moveless almost, and Morphy takes the opportunity just to pile pressure on this particular position. Rook takes knight is an exchange sack. So the allies don't want to take back with the queen and lose the queen, so they take back with the rook. But Morphy knows now that he can bring another piece into the game. He can bring his rook from h1 into the game. So rook h1 to d1 puts more pressure on this rook, and all Morphy's pieces are playing in the game. And you can see that for the black side, the bishop and the rook are not playing in the game. The other pieces are defending, and the king is under attack. So what does Morphy do now? He continues his attack, relentlessly continues his attack. Sorry, it wasn't Morphy's move. Black tries now to get some counterplay and wants to exchange queens. It would help black because black is up in material, but black's material is stuck on the first rank, undeveloped. So this move is helping black to try to sort of get some activity and swap off. But of course Morphy isn't interested in swapping off. Morphy's got to keep up his attack, and the best attacking move from Morphy's spotted this, is bishop takes rook. So Morphy goes back in exchange, but this is with a check, so black has to deal with that. Black takes with the knight, so he doesn't lose the queen. And here comes the beauty of Morphy's combination that he's calculated. Have you seen this? Queen to b8 is the check, sacrificing the queen. The queen can be taken by the black knight. So black takes the queen because the king couldn't move, because there's the bishop here giving check on e7. But here comes the final point. The rook now from d1 can move into d8, and there is the checkmate. Well, that's a fantastic game. It's been shown many times, and it's been put in many books. So it is probably the most well-known game, and for good reason, because you can see Morphy has shown great chess play in how to play good moves. Black really hasn't made many really bad moves, but he has made not the best moves in the position, and you can learn from black that black didn't develop his pieces. Look, the bishop and the rook are out of the game. They're still on the first rank for black, the 8th rank here, out of the game, and the black pieces, the white pieces rather, well, the black pieces were uncoordinated and the white pieces were beautifully coordinated by Morphy to win this opera game. So the thing to do is to try and put those principles into practice in your own game. So when you're playing your opening, you want to develop your pieces, so you get your pieces into the game. You also then want king safety, and there are things like don't move your pieces twice, don't just make many pawn moves. But the principles here are, if you're going to make pawn moves, make sure the position is closed. Well, this position wasn't closed. The d4 move was a move to open up the position, with the d file being fully open here. So you just have to know opening principles for black and for white. Yeah, just a truly beautiful game. One way to play in the Philidor's defence. I am looking at further sort of options in the Philidor, because there are other ways black can play. But well, I hope you've enjoyed this game as much as I do, and really just look at the game yourself, because there is so much to learn from it, of how to play. And the other thing about Morphy's opening developing moves and piece moves, most of them came with a threat. And then black tried to neutralise the threat, but it was the wrong plan from black with the b5 move, because it just set up a gambit play for Morphy, with a serious attack on the king and winning the game with this lovely checkmate. So really, that's all there is to say. If we can learn to play a little bit like Morphy, open well, play the mid game well, and well, checkmating the king like that, just great chess, isn't it? So good luck learning from this game and applying these principles in your own chess games. So that's all for now, and good luck with your own chess rating rise. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and hope your chess play goes well.